All right about now in the 5 series, we're looking at reggae albums from the 80s. All right, reggae albums from the 80s. In the 80s, reggae got a little bit more slicker, a little bit more polished, and it got, for a large extent, computerized and digital. Right, so we're going to get into some of my favorite records from that era. We're starting off with Tenor Saw. Come on, Tenor Saw, a legend. His famous track is Ring the Alarm, but Ring the Alarm is not on this album. I remember buying this album, and as a teenager and realizing that Ring the Alarm wasn't on here, and I was disappointed, but I quickly changed my mood when I listened to it. It's a classic album. It's just got so many bangers on there. Lots of Sign is on here, one of the greatest reggae tracks ever. Shirley Jones, Pumpkin Belly, Roll Call. It just goes on and on and on. This is an essential album. This is the one album in this batch that I say this is an essential album. Tenor Saw, Fever, you gotta have it. Next up, Nitty Gritty, a singer that Tenor Saw influenced, because Tenor Saw had a certain type of cadence, and Nitty Gritty kind of took that cadence. He had more of a baritone. It's very hard for some reason to find Nitty Gritty records. I don't find his records around a lot. I'm not really sure why, but I've got this cool compilation of Nitty Gritty songs. I love Nitty Gritty. He's one of my favorite singers out of that era, firmly entrenched in the computer digital dancehall rhythm genre, and he's just great. Nitty Gritty, you have to get involved. That's it, really. And if you see his albums, get them, because I never see them. Courtney Melody, another one that's in that genre. Bad Boy was the big track off of this record, but it's a consistent record from beginning to end. He has a unique style. He's like part Barrington Levy, part Tenor Saw. He kind of like MC, sings a little bit too, but this record is straight up dancehall vibes, and it bangs from beginning to end. If you're into that, if you're strictly roots, you might not feel it, but if you're into that 80s vibe, this is it. Courtney Melody, Bad Boy, wicked album. Next up, Steel Pulse, right? This is their first release on a major. Real Steel Pulse fans might not be as into it as their 70s output, because it's a little bit more polished. But to me, this is a solid album. I get the 70s stuff. I grew up on it, but this album is just so clean and precise. And even though it might be a little bit more polished, the lyrical content is still militant. It's still roots. It's still Steel Pulse. So this is a great album, and I love this album, and I bag this album. True Democracy, Janur. Finally, Carol Thompson. Got to big up the Lovers Rock scene, which is a UK scene. This is a Lovers Rock singer. Lovers Rock is a UK reggae format that focused on romantic content, and took the reggae form and made it a little bit more polished, and had a focus on the female singer. And Carol Thompson is a famous Lovers Rock singer, along with Janet Kay, along with Louisa Marks, who's probably the most famous one, and others too. But Carol Thompson is a famous Lovers Rock singer. I believe this is her first album, and it's filled with bare tunes. I'm So Sorry is the big track from here, but it's filled with tunes, it's filled with bangers, and that's it. We're just letting you know about 80s reggae albums. Hi-Fi Recluse, Good Fine Records.